A very good evening. You are watching Rajya Sabha television. I'm Smriti Rastogi with News Tonight. Let's begin the bulletin with the top headlines. Two Congress MPs challenge decision to reject notice to remove Chief Justice Deepak Mishra, tell Supreme Court that Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu should have sent notice to the committee. Experts say that Judges Inquiry Act empowers chairman to accept or reject notice without sending it to the panel. Overhaul of Rajya Sabha rules in the offing to end disruptions in the House. Chairman Naidu forms two-member committee. All MPs and political parties to be consulted on the matter. Report to be submitted at the start of the monsoon session. Prime Minister Modi hits back at political rivals over claims of unemployment, claims joblessness is a legacy of the UPA government, asserts massive investment in infrastructure creating job avenues. Former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh says economy in distress due to NDA's wrong policies. Fast-track Pathankot court to hear Kathua gang rape and murder case. Supreme Court directs in-camera proceedings to be held daily. Rejects petition for CBI probe. Punjab Chief Minister assures security for the case. And thunderstorm alert for several parts of North India tomorrow. Winds reaching speeds of 50 to 70 kilometers per hour to hit Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Haryana, Delhi, Chandigarh, Western Uttar Pradesh, Sikkim and West Bengal. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu has formed a two-member committee for comprehensive review of the rules and procedures of conduct of business in the upper house of the Parliament. According to the Rajya Sabha General Secretary Desh Deepak Verma, the committee will submit its report in two parts. The first one in the next 3 months. The report will be sent to the Rules Committee for consideration.
Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu has formed a two-member committee to take a comprehensive look at the rules of procedure and conduct of business to make the functioning of the House productive and enable passing of bills. The committee will be headed by former Secretary General Dr. V.K. Agnihotri with S.R. Dhaleta, a former Joint Secretary in the Union Ministry of Law and Justice, as a member. The committee will review existing rules and procedures of the House and recommend necessary amendments.
The first comprehensive relook into the rules of procedure and conduct of business in a professional manner, and then try to come out with the rules of procedure of conduct which could address the today's realities, what exactly is happening in the Parliament.
According to Article 118(1) of the Constitution, each House of Parliament may make rules for regulations subject to the provisions of the Constitution, its procedure and the conduct of its business. The Rajya Sabha made broad rules and procedures for conducting its affairs, which came into effect on the 1st of July 1964. But following loss of productive hours in recent times, members have called for amendment in the rules.
The present situation is that some people can take the whole House to ransom. Some people can destroy. It is not the view of the majority, it is view of the minority also. Only few people can decide, very handful people have decided. In fact, 4 or 5 people can decide that the House will not be. So, we are trying to tackle that problem.
Unlike the Lok Sabha, the Rajya Sabha does not have a provision of dismissing members causing obstructions to the proceedings. Therefore, the chairman is left with the only option of adjourning the House. In other matters like the point of order, discussion on matters of public interest and privilege notices, Lok Sabha has much more stringent rules than the Rajya Sabha. As many rules have become outdated, the committee will suggest necessary recommendations after consultations with various political parties and studying rule procedures before tabling it in the House for approval.
They will give their recommendations. And based on those recommendations, it will obviously go through that procedure. It will go to the Rules Committee. And meanwhile, the opinion of other stakeholders, political parties would also be obtained, and effort will be made to reach at a consensus.
After taking over as Rajya Sabha chairman, M. Venkaiah Naidu had called for reforms in the rules of the House. The chairman also put an end to the use of colonial words while tabling papers in the House. Now, with the decision to review the rules related to procedures and functioning in the Rajya Sabha, there are clear indications of tightening laws against disruptions. With inputs from Arvind Kumar Singh, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And two Congress MPs on Monday moved the Supreme Court challenging the rejection of the notice to remove Chief Justice of India Deepak Mishra by Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu. Senior advocate Kapil Sibal, one of the signatories to the notice, mentioned the matter for urgent listening before a bench headed by Justice J. Chilameshwar. The two leaders who moved the petition are Rajya Sabha MPs Pratap Singh Bajpa from Punjab and Ami Harshadre Yajnik from Gujarat. Meanwhile, senior advocate and BJP leader Aman Sinha said there was no legal ground to challenge the Rajya Sabha chairman's decision. A 5-judge constitution bench will hear the petition. The list of business for the Supreme Court showed that the petition will be heard by a bench comprising Justices A.K. Sikri, S.A. Bobde, N.V. Ramanna, Arun Mishra and A.K. Goyal.
ये जो चेयरमैन साहब ने खुद ही एजुडिकेशन कर ली है, उनके पास कोई पावर नहीं थी। ये इसमें ये था कि जब उन्होंने ये बात देख ली कि सही साइन आ गए हैं, सीरियस जुडिशियल मिसबिहेवियर की बात है, तो 3 मेंबर कमेटी के पास जाती है और वो डिटेल में सारी बातें सभी के बयान लेकर फिर फैसले पर किसी पर पहुंचते, क्योंकि इन्होंने कमेटी के पास ही नहीं भेजा, खुद ही जज बन गए उस पर। तो इसको हमने चैलेंज किया होगा।
In my view, the VP applied his mind, took all factors into account, and came to the conclusion there was no case for issue a notice. You just can't issue a notice for impeachment because so many people have signed it. There must be cogent, substantial evidence, prima facie, for him to initiate the inquiry. I don't think there is much in the petition, but I can't say it's listed tomorrow.
And to get a wider perspective on this, we'll go across to Mr. P.K. Malhotra, who is former Secretary, Ministry of Law and Justice. And also we have with us our correspondent Vishal Dahiya, who is joining us live from the newsroom. First of all, I'll go across to Mr. P.K. Malhotra. Sir, thank you so much for speaking to us. My first question, sir, on what grounds can the chairman's ruling be questioned in the Supreme Court?
You see, so far as the Judges Inquiry Act is concerned, it specifically empowers the chairman when he receives a notice of motion signed by 50 members of the Rajya Sabha. Then he has to examine the notice. He can go into the consultation process, as well as he can examine the grounds on which the petition has been filed. And going by the order which has been passed by the Vice Chairman, the Vice President, who is Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, he has very clearly stated in his order that the grounds for impeachment are not made out, they are frivolous ground. So I didn't have the benefit of going through the petition, but going by the newspaper reports which I have seen, I find that one of the challenge in the petition is that the petitioner have challenged the constitutional validity of Section 3(1) itself, under which the Vice Chairman or the Speaker is entitled to reject the application. So far as the power is concerned, I think the power is available to the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha for rejecting the motion. Once the power has been exercised, then I think the aggrieved party will have a power of judicial review, and probably under that power, this petition has been filed in the Supreme Court.
Sir, has there been any similar incident in the past?
Well, I think it is unprecedented where a petition would have been filed, but to the best of my knowledge, probably long back, there was a petition moved against one of the Chief Justices by an individual which was dismissed as frivolous. This is based on I don't have any personal knowledge, but it is as per the newspaper reports which appeared when this impeachment notice was moved and it was rejected. I think Indian Express reported that one notice was moved against one of the petitioner and which was dismissed by the Speaker of Lok Sabha as frivolous.
So the petition of the two MPs claimed that the Rajya Sabha chairman should have referred the removal notice to the committee. Is the chairman duty bound to do so?
I don't think so. If we interpret the provision like that, then I think the Act itself, the provision of Section 3(1) of the Judges Inquiry Act will become redundant, because Section 3(1) of the Judges Inquiry Act specifically empower the chairman or the speaker to consult the concerned persons and to go through the material and accept or reject the motion. The moment we say that once 50 MPs sign a notice and then he has to appoint a committee, that will be making the provision of Section 3(1) redundant.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us and giving us those insights into this development. Now we'll bring our correspondent Vishal Dahiya. Vishal, chairman has already consulted a number of law experts and concerned officials, and according to the experts, Judges Inquiry Act empowers chairman to accept or reject notice without sending it to the panel. Now, what points does the Congress have while it brings the matter in the Supreme Court?
Well, if you look at the argument which has been given by the opposition parties, Smriti, then we'll find that on the day when this order came in from the chairman of the upper house, the opposition parties cited two arguments. One was that the chairman is not empowered to go ahead and take a decision, but this is something which has been clearly established now, and it was pretty much mentioned in the chairman's order, as well as the constitutional experts have also said it time and again. And we just heard Mr. P.K. Malhotra as well pointing out the relevant provision in the Judges Inquiry Act, that is Section 3(1), which clearly states that the chairman or the speaker, that is the presiding officer of either of the houses, is empowered to go ahead and take an informed decision on the petition of removal of any judge filed before him or her, and he or she can go ahead and reject or accept that particular petition. So it is not necessary that the chairman of the upper house or the speaker of the Lok Sabha has to constitute a committee of three persons to go ahead and look into the validity of that particular notice or the allegations leveled in that particular notice. That is point number one. The point number two is that whether or not the allegations which were leveled against the Chief Justice of India in this particular notice by the opposition MPs were valid or were on a very strong point, and whether or not they could have been rejected by the chairman. Herein again the constitutional provisions and the Judges Inquiry Act comes into play, which clearly gives the powers to the chairman to go ahead and take an informed decision after consultation with the constitutional experts and people from other sections of the society and stakeholders. That is exactly what the chairman seems to have done here. In his order, specifically, he has pointed out that he consulted at least 1.5 dozen people, amongst them the constitutional experts, former judges of the High Court, the Supreme Court, as well as senior lawyers, before coming to a conclusion that the allegations leveled by those members of the parliament in that petition before him were not on a strong ground. They were on a weak footing, and they do not hold that much, evidence to go ahead and for the chairman to go ahead and accept that notice. So clearly, these two grounds on which the opposition parties and the members who moved the notice, two of them are moving ahead, is something which have already been explained by the chairman in that detailed order which came on that particular day.
Right. Vishal, you just mentioned that in his order, chairman has said that he has held wide-ranging consultations with the legal experts. What is their view on the matter?
Well, those consultations are already in public domain now, and some of them were mentioned, or rather the very fact that the chairman consulted several people was mentioned in the order itself. And then later on, we also came to know that all, several legal luminaries have pointed out to the chairman that the allegations which have been leveled by the members in their notice for removal of Chief Justice of India are not worthy enough, are not strong enough to go ahead and make sure that the chairman admits that particular notice. That is one. And two, one of the another advice or the arguments which were given by these legal luminaries to the chairman was that under the Judges Enquiry Act, Section 3(1), he has the power to admit or reject the notice rather than passing it on to a 3-member committee, which then would take a call on that.
Thank you so much, Vishal, for joining us and giving us all those inputs. And now let's get you all the election news from the poll-bound state of Karnataka. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with the workers of the BJP Yuva Morcha through the Namo app on Monday, lauding the efforts of the workers of the youth cell for turning the public mood in Karnataka in the favor of BJP. Prime Minister said that BJP wants to promote a modern India by giving importance to skill development and innovation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says his government is committed to creating the right environment for the youth to prosper. He also accused Congress President Rahul Gandhi of trying to spread despair with his remarks over unemployment. Addressing workers of BJP's youth cell, Prime Minister Modi said the government has made comprehensive investments in infrastructure, railways, highways and digital India to create jobs.
बेरोजगारी की बात करते हैं, क्या सारी बेरोजगारी इस 4 साल में पैदा हुई है क्या इतनी बड़ी मात्रा में बेरोजगारी उन्होंने विरासत में दी थी या नहीं दी थी? इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर क्रिएशन पर अधिक से अधिक पैसा खर्च किया जा रहा है और जब इतनी तेजी से इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का निर्माण भी हो रहा है तो फिर ये आरोप कहां टिकता है? क्या ये रोजगार के अवसर बनाए बिना हो रहा है क्या?
Prime Minister Modi also slammed the Congress for opposing technology, be it in the form of Aadhaar card or EVMs. He said such a party can't be the voice of 21st century India. He further said the BJP wants to promote a modern India by giving importance to skill development and innovation.
एक तरफ हमारे देश में वो दल है जो टेक्नोलॉजी के पीछे पड़ गए हैं, या तो उनकी नासमझी है या जानबूझकर के झूठ फैला रहे हैं। हर टेक्नोलॉजिकल विषय का विरोध करना, यानी ईवीएम तक का विरोध करना, आधार का विरोध करना, मोबाइल फोन की टेक्नोलॉजी का विरोध करना, हर जगह पे। दूसरी तरफ हम लोग हैं जो आधुनिक भारत बनाने के लिए जीवन के हर क्षेत्र में टेक्नोलॉजी को महत्व देना चाहते हैं।
Prime Minister said young workers of the BJP are anguished by political violence, adding that while a healthy debate is essential to the functioning of democracy, there is no place for the politics of violence in India.
लोकतंत्र के उज्जवल भविष्य के लिए हिंसा के प्रति हर राजनीतिक दल में एक विरोध का भाव होना चाहिए, हिंसा के प्रति विरोध का वातावरण होना चाहिए।
Prime Minister Modi welcomed the efforts of the party's youth cell in turning public mood in favor of the party, despite news of a hung assembly being spread. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh on Monday criticized Prime Minister Narendra Modi of trying to polarize the society in Karnataka Assembly elections. He also attacked the Modi government for its disastrous policies and economic mismanagement. Singh said that the economy is growing below its potential and the Modi government's intentions, which is claimed were good, had resulted in massive losses for the country. Meanwhile, Congress President Rahul Gandhi protested against the high petrol and fuel prices as he led a march on a bicycle while campaigning in Karnataka's Kolar district. And Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah sent legal notices to Prime Minister Modi and Party Chief Amit Shah, warning that he will file criminal and civil defamation cases over personal remarks accusing him of corruption. He also sent a notice to the BJP's chief ministerial candidate B.S. Yedurappa, whom the Congress has repeatedly accused of corruption. The notice asks them to tender unconditional apology or face a defamation suit of 100 crore rupees. Karnataka will vote on 12th May for 224 assembly seats. On to some more news. The Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana has benefited more than 11 crore people. According to government data, it has created more than 5.5 crore jobs by providing support to small entrepreneurs and tiny business units who are the biggest cogs in the wheels of business. Rajya Sabha television takes a look at this unique scheme that has transformed the lives of many and has the potential to take the nation into the next phase of financial inclusion.
The idea of starting a business felt daunting to Delhi's 25-year-old Jyotsna few years ago. Limited access to institutional credit and exorbitant interest rates charged by money lenders disheartened her. That's where Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana played a pivotal role. True to its powerful tagline, funding the unfunded, Jyotsna got a loan of 2 lakh rupees from a nationalized bank to open her grocery store in 2017. Jyotsna not only supplements family income now, but also pays for her higher education. This first-generation entrepreneur feels that these humble beginnings will nurture her dreams of owning a retail chain one day.
I decided to have my own business और इसलिए मैंने अपने एक शॉप पे एक सेटअप करा जिससे कि मैं वहाँ पे बहुत सारा इन्वेस्टमेंट कर सकूँ. फ्रॉम दैट आई गॉट अ लोन फ्रॉम अ बैंक जिससे कि मैंने अपने यहाँ पे बहुत सारा मटेरियल स्टॉक करा और दिस इज़ हाउ आई ग्रो, दिस इज़ हाउ माई बिजनेस इज़ ग्रोइंग एंड आई जस्ट वांट टू बी लाइक दैट इन दैट फ्लो एंड आई वांट टू टेक दिस बिजनेस टू अ हाई लेवल.
Thirty-three-year-old Yogesh merrily tosses the buns in butter and instructs his workers to cater to the customers at his vada pav shop. The joy of owning his own enterprise and employing 4 others is palpable in his eyes. Yogesh, however, still recounts how difficult it was to secure a collateral-free loan up to 10 lakh rupees free from the clutches of money lenders. However, Mudra scheme came as a boon for him 2 years ago that flourished his venture at very nominal interest rates.
सरकार जो अभी नीतियाँ कर रही है बहुत बढ़िया कर रही है. उन नीतियों से छोटे छोटे बिजनेसमैनों को काफ़ी फ़ायदा भी हो रहा है. अब जैसे हमें ही देख लो, हम दिन भर में 200-300 वड़ा पाव बना लेते हैं. हमारे साथ 2-4 लेबर और जुड़ी हुई हैं. हमारे उससे उनका भी घर चलता है.
Essentially, Mudra Yojana refinances lending to micro businesses and units. These units cover proprietorship or partnership firms running as small manufacturing units, shopkeepers, fruits or vegetable sellers, hair cutting salon, beauty parlors, transporters, truck operators, hawkers, cooperatives or body of individuals, food service units, food processors, repair shops, machine operators, small industries, artisans, self-help groups, professionals, service providers in rural and urban areas. As on March 16, 2018, loans amounting to more than 3.67 lakh crore have been disbursed by scheduled commercial banks under Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. About 75% of the beneficiaries are women. The loans are granted on the basis of categorization. Shishu, that allows loans up to 50,000 rupees for a small startup venture. Kishore, that allows loans up to 5 lakh rupees for companies or ventures that already exist but need funding. And Tarun, that allows loans up to 10 lakh rupees for a venture that needs funding. In his budget speech for financial year 2015-16, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley proposed the creation of a Micro Units Development Refinance Agency Bank with a corpus of 20,000 crore rupees and credit guarantee corpus of 3,000 crore rupees. Following this, Prime Minister Narendra Modi later launched the bank on April 8th.
प्रधानमंत्री का जो सपना था और है कि जो माइक्रो हैं, जो नीचे के लोग हैं, जो उनको उठाना ऊपर, सामाजिक दृष्टि से, आर्थिक दृष्टि से मुद्रा 200% उनके लिए सफल कारगर साबित हुआ है.
Since the inception, 3 years have passed, and the Mudra Yojana has given substantial impetus to the micro, small and medium enterprises sector, crucial for the country's transformation.
Small and tiny units employ more than 12 crore people, and Mudra scheme has removed bottlenecks for many of them and has also created an environment that is conducive for growing entrepreneurs. It has not only provided finance for the unbanked, but has also provided income-generating opportunities for the people at the bottom of the economic pyramid. Reporting from Delhi, with camera person Manoj, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
And now the weather news. In the wake of the warning of heavy rain and thunderstorm by the Indian Meteorological Department, the Delhi government has decided to close all evening schools on Tuesday. Search and rescue teams have been put on standby in the city. The traffic police has issued an advisory asking commuters to check weather conditions before travelling. The Delhi Metro has also decided to exercise extreme caution in running of trains following the Meteorological Department's warning about heavy rains and thunderstorm. The Haryana government has cancelled leave of all officials in municipalities across the state. Fire and other emergency services have been directed to remain alert. Schools have also been closed till Tuesday. The Met Department has issued an alert forecasting that several parts of North India could witness thunderstorm and squall on Tuesday, with winds gusting up to 50 to 70 kilometers per hour. And the Supreme Court on Monday transferred the Kathua gang rape and murder case outside Jammu and Kashmir to Pathankot in Punjab. Directing that the trial be fast-tracked, the Supreme Court said proceedings will be held every day and there will be no adjournment. The trial will be closed to the press and public. The Apex Court stated that the trial must be fair to the victim's family as well as the accused. It also ordered continuation of security to the family members of the victim, family, friends and lawyer representing them, and directed translation of statements and records of the case from Urdu to English. And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, on his visit to Latin America, met with President of the Republic of Guatemala, Jimmy Morales, today. During his two-day visit to the country, Vice President Naidu will hold extensive talks with the top leadership on issues related to mutual, regional and international concerns. Agreements in the field of wildlife conservation, education and training of English language as well as information technology are also expected to be signed. And that's all we have for you in this edition of News Tonight. Keep watching Rajya Sabha TV.